Hi, MEP coordination part 1. MEP coordination, one of the most commonly used terminology during the construction phase and during beam modeling. So what exactly is MEP coordination? There is a common misconception that MEP coordination is the process in which services are made clash free. Unfortunately, clash reduction is seen as fancy coordination terminology, but it is not just making the services clash free. MEP coordination is all about constructability, access space, feature maintenance, ease of installation, and technical correctness. It is a multi-layered process in which each decision is well informed, studied, and executed. We will be discussing all the services in detail about the system nature, materials used, factors that influence the characteristics and placement, and so on. In this series, today we will be discussing about electrical containment and busbar. As the name indicates, these fall under electrical systems. It is one of the three major systems in MEP coordination. I have listed the definition of electrical containment and busbar in the presentation. The following are some of the basic information that needs discussion before we start the coordination between other services. It follows: total void space between the ceiling and the soffit, false ceiling height from finished floor level, proposed structural beams in their root and its depth, services running in the given route, for example HVAC, firefighting, drainage, gas, water supply, and so on, type of false ceiling and their support type, approved materials, method of installation, manufacturer recommendation for all the services. These are some of the information that needs to be taken into account before we start the coordination. The cable trays and ladder should be placed in such a way that the cabling is easy. The spacing should be adequate for the cable rollers. These rollers are available in different sizes. The number of cable layers over the tray should be also taken into account. The trays and trunking that are susceptible to maintenance and upgrade should be placed in the bottom layers. Wet services are not allowed to run in parallel with electrical systems, although they are allowed to cross the electrical containments. It is often recommended to allocate the space in the void area for all the services during coordination at the beginning itself. The services that are gravity influenced like drainage should be treated with importance. The cable trays that branches into units and rooms can be arranged in such a way that they don't cross over very often. They should be arranged sideways considering the tray sizes, how often they branch out. The cable tray heights from the floor level should be in such a way that the flux conduits are within the permissible length. The support system for the services running below and above the trays need to be planned in advance. The containment should not obstruct the supports. The bend radius of a tray or ladder should be as per the cable laid. Minimum bend radius is very critical to maintain the structural integrity of the cable. The panel height and the tray height should accommodate the minimum bend radius of the cable. The busbar routing should be planned with the minimal bends and enough access space for maintenance. The bends in the route have to comply with the manufacturer recommendation, and also pressurized wet system like firefighting and boosted cold water supply running parallel to busbar need to be avoided. The underground and concealed provisions like beam and slab openings for electrical systems should be planned in advance to the concrete pouring. Tray, ladder, and panel placed directly in HVAC path should be considered because it results in moisture accumulation. This has to be avoided as much as possible. Installation sequence of services need to be discussed with the execution team for cramped locations. Let us continue the subject in part 2 of the MEP coordination series. Thank you.